اللهم منزل الكتاب مجري السحاب هازم الأحزاب سريع الحساب اهزم اليهود وزلزلهم يا قوي يا عزيز.
The views and opinions expressed by the presenters and guests of Radio Al Ansar are not necessarily the views and opinions of Radio Al Ansar and the Al Ansar Foundation.
Every student can learn, just not on the same day or the same way. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an opened one.
Join Sumaya Khan every Tuesdays between 7 and 8 p.m. for an educational evening exclusive to Radio Al Ansar.
Your education is a dress rehearsal for a life that is yours to lead.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar Subhanallah walhamdulillah La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar You can say it once or 100 times or more. You feel a peace inside and it'll open every door. That's the power of remembering Allah.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to School Matters with me, Sumaya Khan. Alhamdulillah, everyone had a good Eid. Well, School Matters is back. We took 1 month off during Ramadan. You know, may the Almighty protect our learners, educators, parents, and all stakeholders. Inshallah, Ameen. Ramadan has passed and lots of our little ones and children were involved in community involvement. Well, community involvement is beneficial in all areas of life. We see the impact, it has in the workforce and company culture, schools, towns, and small businesses around the world. Perhaps one of the greatest examples of the profound and inspiring ways that it impacts our society is when we look at the benefits of community involvement in early childhood. Children grow emotionally, intellectually, and physically through both their relationship and through their community in school or at home, even on the playground or in the backyard. Well, for children, community involvement and engagement produces a long-term benefit in their lives. It gives them a sense of belonging and is crucial to the building of their identity. Well, the National Education Association states that the popular proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child," well, it produces a clear message, and that is the whole community has an essential role to play in the growth and development its young people. It's noted that parents and family members play a vital role in the life of the child, and so too does the entire community as a whole. Well, topic is, the involvement of your child in the welfare of the community. That's a very interesting topic. How is your child involved in the community? What are you doing for your community? Our guest in studio is Sister Amina Sheikh, an activist, an educator, a lecturer, someone who's quite involved in her community and many communities, always trying to uplift the communities and the youth around her. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to School Matters after very long.
Walaikum salam. Yes, and thank you for having me in your show today.
Okay. Well, I met you on Friday at Grace Street Mosque. That was wow.
It was amazing to see my community, and besides them, other people that was so involved, including yourself, with Palestine, as well as our minister, Dr. Naledi Pandor, was there. And it was such a vibey, or should I say Islamic, and what a beautiful Jummah.
It was collaboration. You know, when you look at
Yes.
the videos and pictures, we had different races, different cultures, all under one roof.
That's correct.
And for the same cause.
And you know what was amazing? You could not tell who was wealthy, who was not, who was sad or happy. Everybody was united at that moment, reading Salah together. It was amazing. And to see how the non-Muslim community was also welcomed in the ladies section, and how welcoming every member were. It was amazing.
It was a long day too.
Gee, yeah.
So, you know, you involved in lots of community things at school, at work. You know, how should a child get involved in community work? That is, how do you start off? You know, as South Africans, we have this culture where we expect everything we want. We takers, we're not givers.
Correct.
You know, if you're teaching for very long, well, I'm not going to tell you how long I'm teaching, but if you're teaching for very long, you can sense that in the children you teach.
Exactly.
If you're looking back 15 years or 20 years, whatever, we're not saying we want stuff, but parents and children reciprocated a little gift or something, or a
Exactly.
note to say thank you.
Correct.
Now, there's nothing.
Exactly.
And, you know, with my colleagues, if you get something, it's like, who's this child? What grade is they coming to my class? But if you go underlying, I think that appreciation, that gratitude, respecting our educators, leaders, is a bit dying. It's dying out.
You're so correct, Sumaya. You know, it's okay. I'm going to tell you, I'm teaching now for 18 years. And in this profession of mine, the amount of children that have been with, have experienced, and at the same time, they are from different communities, different backgrounds, different countries, and it's amazing the cultures that I learn. And as you were just saying earlier, how do we start the child off? As you just said, the parents. The amount of stories that I've heard from children, it's sad to see that in their own homes, they are neglected because parents are too busy trying to make ends meet, to provide food for the day in the house, that they are not giving time to ensuring that the siblings get along. Charity begins from home. We need to teach our children, be with each other, help each other, provide for each other, to not only fight and be angry and say, I hate my sibling. And you know, if it starts from there, with akhlaq, with the respect, you know, it's as I always have been taught and I believe in, that if you have respect, you have akhlaq, you are everything. It's not money or wealth that will make you.
Exactly. And also when you think about charity work, I mean, if you look at the macro, the major communities coming from the government sector, our parents work very hard, late hours, 7, 8 o'clock. I mean, as you say, ends meet. One would think to do community work, you need to have money, you need to be rich, you need to have a car. But it's not about that.
No.
It's your time.
Correct.
And we will touch on that there
Correct.
a bit later. What would you say motivates children to get involved in the community work? Motivation.
Motivation wise, you see, it comes from, as I told you, from starting with the family, right? So with the family, you got to make sure that you give them a sense of purpose, as you just said.
Yeah.
Don't live only for growing to be somebody, to be somewhere. Sense of purpose is the child must get a fulfillment, okay, by contributing to their communities. This alone is one way. The other way is personal interest. If the child has an interest, let it happen, right? Example, if the child wants to, for their birthday, feed the poor, don't insist on having that party or the get together with the family. Go and feed. You have we have a problem right now with the homeless. We
Yeah.
have in every area, there's more than 2,000 people. So you need to now consider that. Encourage a sense of purpose. When you are I know we're not encouraging begging, but if you see an old person, a needy person, and they need help or they need food, or even if you are, give your child a sense of purpose, motivate them. Hey, you want to buy a burger? Let's we also buy tea or a sandwich. And on our route, if we see an old person, a homeless old person, let's stop and give them that. That alone will motivate them to continue doing that throughout their lifetime. Also, in their social, if their friends or families or relatives are getting together, alhamdulillah, I have that a lot with my family. If they're getting together to do a hamper packing, or if they're getting together to do making food to give out to the community, then get your children involved with it as well. Or else recognize them. Show them appreciation to the children. That's the way you're going to motivate them. Because you helped doing this, I'm going to get you this. Don't just get it to show, wow, my child has this, my child has that make, etc. Or my child doesn't have this technology or needs a new phone. Okay, now that field is another topic. But rather motivate them. Show them appreciation. Wow, you did such a good job. You actually, I mean, from experience, there's someone, okay, the last time they scolded me for mentioning, but who in passing a homeless told her that, you know what, it's my birthday tomorrow. And this lady went and bought a cake and gave it to this homeless who was amazed by it and the expression. So that alone is a fulfillment for the child. Then also give them responsibility. Tell them, if you are going to do this, give them a responsibility. Okay, on your way to school, if you see one person, old person who needs something, or even in school, if you find a child is not bringing good lunch, tell me at home and I will help you to give them. Show that initiative, motivate them, tell them well done for helping. If the child has a skill, like example, art skill, then get them to draw art items or make on little wood pieces or a little blanket and give it to a homeless or a poor family that needs an item in their house. So that alone can help.
Do you know, when you think about it, our kids, our learners, our children lack empathy, humanity, that compassion. It doesn't exist anymore. And we as parents, adults, even educators, we're rushing through curriculum. We have so much of admin work. We don't take the time to teach them to care for the next person, regardless of race, religion, and culture.
That's
I always tend to tell children and people, if you cut yourself and I cut myself, we both got blood. We both hurt. We both feel. So we need to instill that empathy, that humanity.
Correct.
We are in an age where we constantly on our gadgets. So we see an accident, we see someone fell on the road, we continue on our phones. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct. In fact, instead of doing that and just rebroadcasting it, re-informing people, taking broadcasts from one group to the next group, and then getting angry because you were told, why are you doing that? Instead of doing that, rather do some community work. That will actually be beneficial to you. You will have some blessing at the same time, and you won't get into a fight with anyone. At the same time, take note of the area you live in. If there are people, be alone, your family, your neighbors, or homeless people around you. But remember, you can't just make a pot of biryani or a butter bread sandwich and give. Everybody comes from different culture.
Yeah.
You need to understand that. If you want to give a food, you need to see what type of culture they come from, and you're going to give them the food. So with your children, you need to do the same. You need to tell them, your colleagues in class, see who comes with food, from which nationality they come from, which culture are they from. So that means what do they eat? Let's try and get them that. If they don't have a pen, and if your child tells you, this learner in class didn't have a pen, then encourage, buy a pen or find one in the house, give it to your child. Tell them, go and give this to that person quietly and tell them, here's a pen for you. So in other words, you are encouraging sharing, you are encouraging giving, and this way it will assist to avoid having pride setting into our children as well.
That's so important. That's so vital. Amina, I know a lot of people will say we come from a different era. We are the last generation of this era. But, we always complain about our politics, our leadership. We're complaining about, the churches, the mosques, religious leaders. And we say we give up hope. But we don't realize we can make a change. We can inspire someone to make a change in something, So what challenges do children have when participating in community work?
You see, the one is safety concerns from the parent, that is my child going to be safe? Who is going to be there if I'm not going to be there? So it hinders the child in actually doing the thing. Instead of the parent getting involved with the child, and this becomes quality time with your child, as well as dawah work that you are doing, which is a plus for you. So instead of sitting on, as you said, technology devices, then get involved with your child. Whatever your child wants to do, go and help. At the same time, when you are doing it, remember, which is sad to see in the community, there are a lot of people that do it for fame, which we must avoid that. Do it for the pleasure of Allah, as we say. And at the same time, when you are doing this, remember, when a person is fulfilled, there's fulfillment, you are being, you getting you achieving your goal of fulfillment as well, of helping people, and you are getting blessed as well. So the other problem that the child has is lack of awareness. They may just know about the charity that you taught them about, or the dawah work that you may have taught them. They may not know, or they may not be aware of how to get involved in the school with it. So you need to tell your child to ask the teacher, is there any charity program in the school? Can I get involved with it? Because if they don't ask, then they are stuck. So the resources that they have can become limited. Then at the same time, we have time constraints. And it comes from the parent also. You hear them saying, but my child has to go to school. The child goes to madrasa. When is the child going to do this? The child doesn't get to play. But the child's playtime must not be only the technology device. The child's extra time must include half an hour, not more than half an hour, to do one aspect of any dawah. Going to greet an elder, taking the child to it's amazing. You go to an old age home and you must see how the old people's reaction are. It was amazing. And, at the same time, you play a game with them or just smile with them, children's home, or even on the street, or a neighbor who's been alone for long. Greet them. That alone is a dawah.
During COVID, I'm not saying it was good, but a lot of people went back to show compassion.
Correct.
And empathy. You could be a really wealthy person living in a really good suburb, but you got age. You probably were hindered, and you couldn't get food.
Correct.
And your neighbor who could be way poorer than you, or not as influential as you, but was seeing to your needs.
I agree.
And even when you're looking at stuff, going to the shops, a lot of neighbors were helping the elderly, those who were chronic patients.
Amazing.
And that brought back, that empathy and that compassion. Looking at our kids on a macro in government sector, we don't have the resources, domestic violence, child-run homes. There's so many ills of society there, and single mums, grannies, gogos who are busy with the children. But your neighbors, where you stay, I know I had a child who I think it was Wednesday, used to go to the neighbor to take out the dirt.
Wow.
She was like a gogo who was like in her 80s. And this child just had a mum who was a normal domestic worker.
Wow.
And he used to do this to this lady. And this lady, I think it was in Chesterville, this lady, when she passed away, she was a retired nurse. Her children were so shocked that she left such a large amount of money to this child.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she never said anything to this child. And I think she even wrote something that her own children never take the time to do this. And that child is now like about 33 years old. He used that money to study. I think he's an engineer.
Wow.
So look at that ripple effect
Wow.
of kindness.
It must come back.
It must come back. So we need to do stuff like that. Even as you said, greeting, smiling, being
Yes.
kind. But I think I wouldn't say the whole world or society is such right now. It's about fame, recognition, status, being influential, rubbing with the rich, regardless if they have no morals. Whatever faith you belong, but that's the norm. That's the norm. And as you say, it's just the Almighty who knows the good you do. Even the Sunday schools, the church, the madrasas, religious schools, children can get involved there.
Yes, correct. Because what happens is, like the one at the Ahmadiyya school, Ahmadiyya Mosque in Mayville,
Yeah.
and Alhamdulillah, if you go and see on a Sunday, they are feeding the community, they are helping the community. It's amazing. And sometimes people from outside come there for help as well. So the same with our area
Yeah.
as well. We have the same thing happening. Whether you go to the Beatty Street Jamaat Khana as well. So, you know what? It's for us to realize now, as you just said, a greeting, a smile. Charity begins from home. We have to teach our children. You know what? When whoever you go past, greet them, ask them, how are you? Just give a note, drop a note then if you don't want to speak to the person. If you want to send a message to the person. But at least try and speak in contact with people as well. It's very important. And that alone builds up the person's confidence, gives the person good health, makes the person smile. And remember, it's only you that can make a difference.
And parents, if you're looking at the plus side, your child, you're instilling those values of humanity into your child, empathy, love, compassion. And they grow up as an adult having this caring for the next person.
That's correct.
Other parts of the world, I was looking Canada, some parts of Singapore. There's no tellers in the shops. They put things in the basket based on trust.
Mm-hmm.
The elderly is taken care of. There's no homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if we have our leaders and individuals who just want all the cream, so what do you expect?
Yeah, now, so that's where we have to teach our children. Let's start by our house. In our house, our neighbors, our street. Let's see who needs help, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, whether it's to enroll a child into a school. Let's see how we can assist. By you just doing that and creating a community for yourself with your street alone, you will see it becoming more safer for you, happier for you. You will be able to live in the community with them, which I do actually. And it's amazing. And you know what? Knowing today's time with the problem of water and electricity, get the child to fill the water. Give it to the people who are having a problem with that. And it's amazing. That's a blessing.
For our listeners out there, let me tell you something. Amina lives in hardcore Durban Central Town. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I mean, whereabouts?
Yes. You're giving me my info away. Hey? Okay, I'm in the heart of town in Commercial Road. And it's amazing. I haven't left there. I'm there now for 52 years.
52 years. So you watch how things have changed over the decades.
Very different. But I think I am the richest.
Yeah.
With water, with lights, and at the same time, with the community that is smiling all the time. It's not about what I have and what you have, and I'm richer than you, and I have this brand or that brand. It's the greeting and the love between the community people around us, which is amazing.
Amazing. Do you know, your child goes to school. If you're an educator, I know we complain there's no time in the day. There's so many things to do. But you can start off something very small. I know gardening, and then taking the fruits and the vegetables and the herbs to maybe an old age home or the poor or the needy or the pensioners.
Right.
Even if you're bringing sandwich, try to put an extra slice, just one slice. And if you
Yes.
add all that one slice, it can make loaves and loaves of bread.
Exactly.
You know, like little things like that there. And, you know, sometimes you see very old people who still use public transport. And
it's sad, really sad.
Yeah, and you will just see this young dude just brush past, you know, into the taxi, and like there's no help or assistance. So the next time when you are driving, or if you're using public transport, take note of what I just said. How many people let the elderly go first, give them a seat, help them with their packets or anything, and you'll be so shocked that I don't think it happens anymore. We have selfish youth today.
You see, not only that, because of time and being a rat race where the child has been programmed by the parents that you have to be doing this, you have to be doing that, you have to go and do this, you have to finish that. Oh no, now my child is tired, my child needs to rest. Now we need to change that mindset. We need to change the routine. The routine has become a stressful one for the child.
Yeah.
We need to bring the child into a relaxed mode as well. The relaxed mode will assist you in doing your dawah work that you need to do.
When Sister Amina, for non-Muslim listeners, when you mean da'wah work, you know, it's the charity you do. All religions teach us to care, to help, to assist, and that's blessings in itself. You don't have to give large sums of money or food for blessings. Being kind, helping, assisting, giving your time to someone. You know, as you mentioned, parties. People have big parties at famous restaurants, hiring place. You know, the new thing is for everything there's a function. Take that same money and go to an orphanage or an old age home and celebrate it there. You'll see the tears of joy with
Yes.
those elderly or those kids.
Correct. I remember one elderly person telling me, my children are overseas. My family is all the people in the old age home. I look forward to seeing people. Just that alone, it actually brings tears to my eyes now. It's sad to see how the elderly have been neglected. And that's where we need to focus on. Because we must remember it is because of them that we are here. And we have now neglected the family lifestyles, the family unity, the family communication. And what has become is sad is that we would say evil gets into your mind and you want to focus on wealth, you want to focus on being somebody, you want to focus on being too busy to keep in contact, and your first
But yet you're on
comment
your
come
phone
out.
24/7, 365.
Oh yes, correct.
And I missed your message. No, I just ignored your message.
That's it. Yeah, I actually had told somebody that too. But you know, that's correct what you're saying. Because what they say, oh, you know, I'm too busy. Oh, I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to do that. But you're right. If you go to see, and it's on certain groups with certain people that they are chatting with. So now we need to change that mindset. It's sad to say, they say on some people you can't change it. But at the same time, if you want to say, you can't only say, okay, I don't know Islamically whether I'm in the right position to say this or not. But yes, I get shouting for at home as big as I am to be reading Quran and reading more of what I'm doing. But also besides, you got to do everything. Reading your Quran, your Salah. You don't need to advertise. At the same time, do your charity work. You don't need to advertise. But you need to explain to your children how to get involved in charity. A simple thing like tell them, I'm giving you Lillah and Fitra. Okay, if you have a rand, 50 cents, if you're often in the vehicle or at a house, have a container. Put it in here. Right, okay. Are you going to be seeing anybody today on your route? Right, take this 1 rand, give it to somebody who can buy something, or buy something and give it to someone else. Buy a water or a cold drink or a food. Give it on your route. Station. Sometimes they call me the pen auntie, right? Or otherwise Zinkwa mama. Now, pen auntie. Why? Because I'm always keeping a pen, and when I see someone,
You gave me a pen, and that was a good pen. On our last show a couple months ago, you gave me a pen. That was an excellent pen.
I must give you more. So, you know what? At the end of the day is a little thing like that helps a person. So you need to actually instill it into your children and tell them to be approachable.
Yeah.
Smile to every person. When a person walks through the door, even if it's a visitor, it's sad to see in some homes the children are gone to their rooms.
Or they roll their eyes.
Or they roll their eyes and they go into the room and you don't know. You just see the person, the elderly that you're speaking to. And the others are, oh, it's okay. I don't know who's that, whatever.
Yeah.
You need to encourage, you need to make it a must
Yeah.
as parents. I know you are busy too as parents, but you have to spend quality time. It's sad to see. I had a student that tell me, my parents are Monday to Sunday in the shop. I wait to come to school. I said, then who's with you at home? There's cameras in the house. So I'm alone at home. The child actually told me this, that even if I go into my mother's room, it beeps. My mother will phone to tell me what am I doing in her room. So now is that how our country, our today's times are? That this is not the life a child is supposed to be leading.
Yeah. Listeners, we'll be taking a short ad break.
You're listening to School Matters with Sumaya Khan.
In South Africa, countless numbers of sick patients leave their homes at the crack of dawn to join long queues at clinics and public hospitals, many of them suffering pangs of hunger in addition to the symptoms of disease. The Al Imdad Foundation's Slice for Life teams deliver sandwiches to these patients at more than 40 hospitals and clinics across the country. Help us to keep on relieving hunger. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Save the date for Saturday, April 27, 2024. Why, you may ask? Well, it's the Hajj Seminar from 7:45 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at 207 West Road in Overport. Proudly brought to you by the Al Ansar Foundation and the Capital Group of Companies.
Welcome to Simplex Radio. Visit our showroom for the full range of car audio. Our TV department carries top brands with quality LED panels, full HD to Ultra HD, and now the experience of Super Ultra HD. Visit our theater rooms and transform your home with brands like Onkyo, Integra, Denon, Boston Acoustics, Yamaha, and more for quality audio visual experience. Now available, full range of home appliances. A one-stop shopping experience. Call 031 306 4029 or Kenilworth Park, 202 Brickfield Road, Overport. Simplex Radio, the name you can trust.
Famine, conflict, and severe economic decline make the humanitarian crisis in Yemen the worst in the world. More than 20 million Yemenis do not know where their next meal is coming from, and over 10 million are suffering extreme levels of hunger. With your support, the Al Imdad Foundation delivers essential food aid to starving Yemeni communities. It's a question of survival. So let's do what's right. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an opened one.
Join Sumaya Khan every Tuesdays between 7 and 8 p.m. for an educational evening exclusive to Radio Al Ansar.
Your education is a dress rehearsal for a life that is yours to lead.
School Matters with Sumaya Khan.
Still the whole world could.
You are listening to School Matters with Sumaya Khan.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, yes, to School Matters. My guest in studio is Sister Amina Sheikh, an educator and activist. Can I mention this year you were also standing for Ward 31? You know, so you hardcore in the community.
Not 31, 28.
28, that's town.
Town.
Yeah. There's messages coming. Nasiha, Assalamu alaikum, Mrs. Sheikh. Is she in your class? There's another message from Yusuf, Yusuf Patel, Uncle Yusuf Patel. Yeah, okay, so I think Zach's going to open that message. Yeah, okay, it's a long message. Know that your true friend is he who mentions the Almighty to you in your presence and mention you to the Almighty in absence. Be that true friend. Beautiful things happen in your life when you distance yourself from negativity and drama. Relation is not a collection of people, but it's a selection of hearts. One of the most valuable gifts in life is a loyal friend. Salams and duas, Yusuf Patel.
Wow, amazing.
Amazing. That's so true. And then there's another message coming from brother Ahmed from Hillgrove. Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing? Are you training for the marathon? Well, he's saying he's watching live on Facebook. Know your guest quite well. Superb, informative show. Yes, we're just here to, having a discussion. These are our views and opinions. Our topic this evening is how to get our children or your child involved in the community welfare. You get involved. People get involved during religious times, fasting times, when the need be. But how do you get your child involved? And this is such, so vital, so important to instill that they become better, compassionate, caring adults. How can communities better support and encourage children to engage in activities related to welfare?
You got to promote it, right? Via education.
You have to give free gifts. That's the in thing. Whatever you're doing, I'll be getting anything free.
Yes, and then the first thing comes to, as you said earlier, hey, free gift, expense, money.
Yeah.
It's amazing if you say I'm going to be doing hamper packing, or I'm going to be doing gifts for the old people. It's amazing how people will contribute. And with that, you can make lovely gifts. Don't just go and give it haphazardly.
Yeah.
Pack it as a gift, or as they say, kuncha, or as like a wedding style gift, and go and hand it to the people. It's amazing how the less fortunate don't get that often.
Yeah.
And you got to give it to them in a proper way. Present it in a nice way. Not just take it slapdash and give it to them. That alone, you will see fulfillment, happiness. At the same time, other activities you could get involved with is empowering your child as leaders. If you know they are confident, then tell them, don't say we're going to go and now do this charity work. You need to do this. You need to behave. You need to go and do this. Don't stand there. You must stand here. Don't stand near them. That is not the work. Stop bullying the child in that process. Stop instructing the child in that process. Instead, let their hearts overtake their mind. Help them to distribute. Help them to give. Help them to be near them. Do not distance them from the less fortunate while they're giving the item. I've seen that happening, and it's sad.
And
they're not
Amina, what
different.
about the cameras, social media, clicking? You're giving food, clicking. You're doing something, snap.
It's very sad, I'll tell you. I don't do that. Honestly, there's been many people that have even given me money to for distribution of food. And when I get the food for the community, whatever they eat, I literally take a picture of the food and send the receipt, invoice or whatever to the person who sends the money through. But that's it. They do not see it being handed to them, because that's not it.
Yeah,
you are
it's
not supposed
degrading.
to. Exactly. Not only that, you want the praise, or you want to show public that you have done the distribution. You've lost your blessing. One. Secondly is your mind has now overtaken your heart.
Yeah.
And your attitude and pride can set in, right? The other one is the opposite side, as you just mentioned in your comment just now. The person you're giving it to is a humble person compared to you, less fortunate compared to you. When they are getting it, you don't know what prayers they are making for you. Do you know there are so many of this community people? I was actually, I found it wrong at first, but now I've accepted it where they call me mum. Okay. And even in the morning when I go to work, I walk to work, right? So it's amazing how they'll scream, Mum, are you okay? Gunjani wena, Sala gashle, Hamba gashle, Sabenza gashle. That alone brings an amazing day to myself. It builds my self-confidence as well. Now, you need to grow those people. You need to tell them, like we've had somebody in our area and he felt very ill, and he also doesn't have a proper one arm, and now he has gone back to his family, and he's okay there. He comes to visit, and we allow that. You need to be humble when it comes to people like this, not show off that you have done your community work.
I've learned something, that we don't need validation from friends, people you work with, or families, anyone. It's between you and the Almighty. And
That's right.
and sometimes all the good work you do, you have experienced this. I don't know why, but in today's society, it's also they also envy you for it.
And it's sad to see there are certain community members that have organized, no, I won't say that are fully involved in community work that would not want you to, or would not want to include you in their area or their activity of handing out because it doesn't satisfy their community need or their thought or their thinking. Do not let that get to you. Move away from it and tell yourself, as you just said now, which is so important, I'm doing it for Allah. Anything you do, from the time you get up in the morning, Allah, I'm getting up in your with you being there, in your trust. You help me. Allah, I'm going now to do this for you. Help those people that I'm going to help. And that's it. Don't worry about who can provide, who can give you, how much money you can get from an organization to do it. You got to do it yourself.
Exactly. And as I said, you don't need validation from everyone. And if you do something, just do it quietly. And, I think as you get older, you get wiser. What barriers or obstacles prevent children from participating more actively in community welfare initiatives?
Okay, some children get afraid of involving themselves with people that may have, as I've told you, restrictions or rules or regulations, right? That's one. The other one could be age restriction. Oh no, you're too small to help. Okay, that must fall away. We must allow, if the child is eager, let them do it from small. Okay, at the same time is maybe lack of recognition, right? Because it's a child, any child wants to be saying, you must say, well done to them. Great job. Go for it. Do it. Little things like that motivates the child. Self-motivation, right? So you need to tell them, hey, you know what? You did such a good job. I'm so proud of you. You need to give them that lack of recognition they are having, right? At the same time, maybe the address where they're staying, they want to help people, but they can't go out on their own. They are children, whether they teenage, whether they are in high school, or whether even in primary school. Wow, it's amazing how you have. Even when in our school, when we had fundraising day, etc., it's amazing how people go ahead to collect, and you need to actually find ways and avenues. If the address where you are is difficult for your child to get involved in, so that hinders them. Cultural, even language barrier, right? A child wants to help, but they may not be able to communicate in that. And in today's time, this is where I believe in technology is a tool. Use translation. If it's a language, find out what language it is, get the child to translate and speak to them. Let them learn the language. Do not let anything hinder the child from assisting in the community. The other thing that the child may have a problem with is the environment. They are too scared, or maybe they can only do the charity work by their madrasa or their religious group. Sorry, as you have mentioned, they are non-Muslims as well that are listening in. So besides just having it at one point at the religious area, have it in different areas so that others can assist. Involve people. So the children now need to see where they can be easily accepted to freely go and say, yes, I will take from that box and help. I will give the pen. The child needs a jersey. I will try and assist in getting one. Let me ask the family. Okay. So when we are also giving away things, right? I know I've heard people saying that people just take their torn items and hand it and give it out. Don't do that. Things, I believe, if you're not using any item in your house for over a year, you are supposed to be giving it away. And believe me.
And if you're hoping you're going to fit into it.
And you're going to store. And you're going to store. And that's where everybody gets worried.
I know all the ladies are laughing.
Yeah. So what you need to do is take those things and give it to others. Remember, as they say, what one man's item given away, somebody else's. Loudly, Zakaria.
It's one man's trash is another man's treasure.
There we go. That's the one I was trying to get. Excellent. Right? So correct, Zakaria. So it's amazing. Even if it's 5 cups from a set, you don't want the the item anymore because the other cup broke and there's 6 saucers there. Take out the one saucer or give with it. Put it in a neat box. Wrap it neatly. Give it to your child. Now, if your child is eager on doing this, and you haven't used it for a year, give it to your child to say, hey, let's see which person, neighbor, down the road, somebody that needs it, let's give. Anybody in school that their family needs it, let's try and get their number, or let's give it to the child to take it home and write a note so that they know the child hasn't taken it from anywhere. You need to actually see what do people need in our society, and you need to stay humble.
And you know what? If you are well-to-do school in a good suburb, adopt a township school or adopt a poor-performing school. When I mean, some schools don't even have funds, and that could be your school next door to you.
Exactly.
So if there are management principals, stakeholders, governing bodies listening, collaborate. That's my thing. Collaborate, work together.
That is so true.
Because some people just burn resources, throw things in the books.
Yes.
Yet the next door school could use it.
Yes, correct.
Simple things like that.
Very, very true.
Rounding up, Sister Amina.
Okay, encouraging and supporting children involvement in community welfare is an investment in their future and the well-being of society as a whole. So get your children involved or allow them to get involved in community work. And I say all the best to you. I know you can do it. Be positive. Only you can make the difference and smile daily and see how happy you would be yourself. That's a charity alone to your family.
That's so true. Just be kind. You know, even if someone's not kind to you, be kind. I think eventually in their journey, knowing you, they realize they were wrong. You know what? This person has no ill intentions. They just want to do good. I'd like to thank you for being my guest, taking the time to be here. So which next activist thing I'm meeting you? Inshallah, soon.
Yes, we'll surprise each other.
We'll surprise each other. I'd also like to thank our tech, Zach, for making this show possible. That was I'm going to mention that was kind of surprised when we were told by Imran Subrati, two of y'all are in charge of Lady Pando, Dr. Pando, Minister.
Yes.
That was like...
And Alhamdulillah, when I got there at the masjid, Grey Street Masjid, I was the only Indian woman there at first. And, when you enter the mosque, your shoes get taken away. So mine was taken away with hers. And the guard tells me, I'm going to look after your shoes with hers. I said, no stress. I'm not worried about it, And when we go through it was amazing to see how many of the community people followed through and how it just built from there. Amazing.
So anything is possible. So thanks to the United for Palestine for making it happen and everybody else who was involved. My email address is sumayakhan.alansar@outlook.com. If you make the world better for your kids, you make it better for everyone. The well-being and welfare of children should always be, our focus. Love is the strongest force in the world. Children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future. The seeds of success in every nation on earth are best planted in our children. Assalamu alaikum.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah. La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. You can say it once or 100 times or more. You feel a peace inside and it'll open every door. That's the power of remembering Allah. It's the best way to purify your